Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and today's been a day of persistent drilling next door, never mind. Don't forget that on the channel we have recently the solution video to that incredible galactic puzzle hunt puzzle called Adventure. Thanks to Woofer ZFG for that. We've had a crossword recently, an Annex Cryptic crossword. On Patreon we've got Simon's explanation of Could Frame by Sam Kavanagh Johnson, a brilliant classic Sudoku with a trick, and also, of course, the PBN Institute. 4 days left to enter the puzzle pack for the month. So, well, both puzzle packs for the month. Tons of content around the channel, as always. Now, at the weekend, I was planning to have a go at the Sudoku Grand Prix Round 6, authored by South Korean authors. And I thought I had set aside enough time. Then I got in a bit of a panic Monday evening. The cutoff is Monday, and it lasts. The competition runs from Friday, from midnight that starts Friday to midnight that ends Monday. So you can, at any point within those 4 days, spend an hour and a half solving this puzzle. You download the password, and that gives you an hour and a half. And I thought I was within the time when I raced home by 10 o'clock and started the puzzles and finished by before midnight. It turned out that it was midnight Czech time, and I had missed the deadline. In fact, I started just after the deadline for submitting solutions had finished. So I did not get this done in time, which is very frustrating, as I managed to finish 12 out of the 13 puzzles in the pack, so I would have got quite a decent score for me. Had they all been right, and they haven't been marked, I would have got 479 out of 600 points in the hour and a half. You need to be going, I suppose, 600 points at 90 minutes. I have to do this calculation afresh every time. You need to be going at basically just under 7 points a minute. So this puzzle that I didn't attempt during the solve, which was worth 121 points, is expected to take, even the experts who've finished the whole test, how long? 7 into 121, something like, it feels like 15 minutes. 15 to 17. No, more than that. 17 minutes you could spend on this and not feel guilty. So I left it, because I am not that good at Fortress Sudoku, and I'm not that good at very hard puzzles in the context of this test as well. So there were two reasons why I didn't fancy having a go at this. I only had about 1 minute left at the end. Full disclosure, I did get 1 digit, although I should really have concentrated on checking my answers to the other puzzles rather than starting a puzzle I knew I had no hopes of finishing in what I thought was my time limit. Anyway, I will ask you to admire the KR in the grid made up of the fortress cells here before I explain the rules. I'll also tell you that the 4 authors of the pack, and I don't know which one did this puzzle or whether it was a collaboration, but the 4 authors were Ahn Jin-Hu, Hong Seong-hwa, Ju Min-young, and Kwak Sung-jae. Kwak is one of the world's best solvers as well. I'm sure the others are very good too, probably much better than me. But one of those has authored this puzzle. I'm crediting it to South Korea, because that's how the World Puzzle Federation does that. There'll be another round of the Grand Prix in a month's time. And you can just look up Sudoku Grand Prix if you want to have a go at the whole test. But I am going to try this puzzle that I didn't get a chance to attempt during the test now, and we will see how we go. So let's get cracking. Now, full disclosure, I did get 1 digit, and that was by looking at 6s here, and that 6 tells me that there was a 6 in box 2. So that was all I got done during the time, and I'm going to replicate that now. Now, sorry, I didn't explain the rules, did I? Let's go back. Let's start again in a moment. The rules are normal Sudoku rules, and a digit in a shaded cell must be higher than a digit in an orthogonally adjacent unshaded cell. So this could be a 7 if that was a 5, and that was a 4, and that was a 3, for instance. That would obey the rules. Sorry, so I'm going to restart. Let's get cracking now. And I'm going to put that 6 in because it's still right. Oh, and that's quite interesting because these have to be higher. So they are 7, 8 or 9. These have to be higher than 6. So they're 7, 8 or 9. This has to be higher than 7. So that's 8 or 9. These are good things to look for. Having small digits in white cells next to grey cells is not very helpful. Having big digits in grey cells is also not thrillingly helpful, although since those two cells can't be a 1, I am going to pencil mark them. But now we have to do some thinking. Now you might think these are all high digits, so you can put a 1 in here, but that's a very dangerous conclusion because of this cell. And that, although it's grey, it isn't actually touching a white cell, so it's not ruled out from being a 1. The rule is that a digit in a shaded cell is higher than a digit in an orthogonally adjacent unshaded cell. And that doesn't have any orthogonally adjacent unshaded cells, so we can't just write a 1 in here, which would be very helpful if we could. And there may well be a 1 in there, but we can't assume it. So we need to find something else going on. Now, this row is better. 1 can't appear in any of the shaded cells in this row because they all have orthogonally adjacent unshaded cells. So 1 must be in one of these two cells in row 5 and one of these two in row 4, therefore. Now I'm wondering where 8 goes in this box, because I know it can't go in the top slice. It obviously can't be in those two cells, and I don't think it can be in either of those because they see at least 2 shaded cells that see each other, and they can't all be 9s. So 8 must be in one of these shaded cells. And it's a bit like a thermo. Placing a low number on a bulb or a high number on a tip isn't actually very helpful. And there we go, we just have to put up with that. 2 in this central box, can't be in those positions, so it's in one of those. Now one of these has to be 2. It's quite likely to be white. And yes, it is certain to be white because it can't be here in the grey, because that would have to have 2 digits lower than it in the same box. So that's now a 1-2 pair. Now somewhere in this row there is a 3 in grey. And that's interesting. It can't be here because these two can't be 1 and 2. So it's in one of these 3 cells. It can't be here. That's really interesting because this cell can't be a 1 or a 2. And it can't be here because that cell can't be a 1 or a 2. So 3 in the middle row is here, and that now has to be a 1 next to it. We can maybe pull the same trick with 4. Yes, look at this. We can't put, this is beautiful actually, we can't put 4 in those 2 cells there because that can't be 1, 2 or 3. Actually the same with this. The white cells can't be 1, 2 or 3. So 4 in the middle row goes here, and now the cell below it has to be a 3. I'm going along pretty much faster than I normally do in a Fortress Sudoku, so I'm sure it's going to grind to a halt here. And it does instantly. I suppose these have to be, well, one of them's a 5 actually, and that can't be here because those can't both be 4s. So the 5 goes here and that's a 4. Okay, I should have just kept going in the middle row. Then we're left with 7, 8 and 9. Now actually this one can't be a 7 because we've only got 6 below it that can still be placed here. So that's 8 or 9. One of these is a 7. It can be this one with, well, numbers from 3, 4 and 5 there. It's easier for it to be this one, as that could be 2, 3 or 5. These can't be 9s because they have to be less than the grey cell they're touching. So they, okay, but they're at least 6. So for this one, it's also touching these 2 cells, so they have to be higher than 6. 7, 8 or 9, and this one can't be 8 by Sudoku. But now we've got a 7, 8, 9 triple in the middle. So we can place 4 This is a 235 triple. I don't think the rule is going to help with sorting any of that out because they're all lower than these potentials. And once we've used 1, 4, 2, 3, 5, these are all definitely higher. In fact, these are 6, 7, 8, or 9. This one can't be 6 or 7, or it would be surrounded by at least one digit that would be high. No, I've got that the wrong way around. Sorry, it is 6 or 7, or it would be surrounded by one digit that would be. If it was 8 or 9, you couldn't put higher digits there and there. That's what I'm trying to say. Hopelessly inarticulately. There's a 9 in one of those. There's, no, I don't know. This is not 6. So it's 7, 8 or 9, and this has to be lower, but can't be 1, 4, 5 or 6 or 8, which we, oh yeah, which is over there. So 2, 3 or 7, I suppose, still possible. It was interesting how strong that middle row was in helping us, but now I'm getting a bit bogged down. There's another 7, 8, 9 triple. So one of these two is a 7, and that means this one isn't in the box. And now there's an 8, 9 pair in the row, and this one is. So that's not. And again, the rule isn't doing anything here for us. One of those is a 6. Yeah, that's slightly interesting in that it means one of these is a 6. If it was that one, it would have to be higher than a 4 here and another low digit here. In fact, look, there's a 6, 7, 8, 9 quad in column 7. So we need a 5 down here somewhere. These are from 1, 2, 3, 4 only. That is 2, 3, 4 or 5, and that's has to obey the rule, but it doesn't really have a lot of difficulty in doing so. So, not sure. That could be a 7 if that's a 6. This has to be smaller than both of them, but that doesn't stop it being an 8, because I think both of the grey cells there... no, this is stopped from being an 8 by those two which see each other. So that is 6 or 7. Eight now must be in one of those two. I don't think that's actually helpful. This is so many possible digits. It's very irritating. Otherwise, this would be a powerful area to concentrate on. 7, 8, 9, 6. Oh, we need a 2. Yes, we need a 2 in this column. And it can't be in box 2. And I don't think it can be here because that would have to be a 1. So the 2 in the column is placed. Oops, sorry, I was trying to put a full 2 in there. Now the rest of the things in the column are 1, 3, 4 and 5. This can't be a 1. It has a white cell here. So this has to be less than 5. So it's 2, 3 or 4. And 8, 9 in this column have to be up in these cells. So that makes this a 7, which is surprising. 1 is in one of those two and not subject to the rule in any way. Now 7 here, this can't be 8 or 9 because of the rule. Okay, so 8 and 9 are here. This is 3, 4 or 5. We've got this sort of quad, but not helping. This is lower than 7. It's only stopping it being 8 or 9. It's not very powerful. That can't be a 5. Now what next? These are the bits I hate if you're in a competition, when you just can't see any other area to sort of set your teeth at. Now 1 can still be there or here. There's nothing that's ruled it out. Just trying to remember things that I learned earlier. 6 down here. That has to be lower than 2 cells. Ooh, that's quite interesting. It can't be 1, 2, 3, 5 or 6, so it can only be 4 or 7. If it's 7, that's 9. This is 2 or 3. Oh, if it's 7, that's an 8-9 pair, and that won't work. So it's not 7, it's 4. Right. Now these have to be higher than 4. This is 6, 8 or 9, and this one is 7, 8 or 9. I rather suspect that makes up the quadruple of 6, 7, 8, 9 in the box, but yes, it does, because it can't be 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5. So that's a 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple in grey. That's not 7. And that's all I get from that conclusion. Now either 2 or 3 has to sit up here. These are big though, and they can't be 6, so that 7, 8 or 9. Does that have to be big? It's only touching one white cell, so probably not. So one of 2 or 3 is there, and one of 7, 8, 9. Oh, it's getting hard to even see how this will disambiguate at all. And I'm struggling over the left side. The R has been far more helpful than the K, or maybe it's because the preponderance of given digits was over on the right of the puzzle. Now, 6 and 6, can that be 6? Trouble is, I think it can. 7's in one of those, that's not interesting. 3, 5 pair, we've used that. 8, 9 pair here. Is there some relation? I mean, I suppose... I don't know how to use these two. 1, 3, 5 or 9. Ah, I'm really getting stuck now. This by Sudoku is 1, 2, 5 or 9, but by the fortress rules it can't be a 1. This one, 1, 2, 7 or 9, again by fortress it can't be a 1. If either of those was a 2, we'd definitely have a 1 in these cells. If that's a 7, this is a 6, then you get 8, 9. Then you get 8, 5 here, and that becomes a 9. So if that's a 7, that's a 6, and that ends up being a 9. I don't think that's a useful conclusion. This is why the puzzle is rated so high for difficulty, I guess, and why it takes probably even the really good solvers quite a while. 6, 4, 5, 1. Now that is 3, 7, 8 or 9. It would be great if we knew it couldn't be a 3 somehow, because then we'd have a 7, 8, 9 triple in the row and in the column. That would feel powerful. Okay, what about this? This can't be 6 or 5, and it has to be lower than 3 digits in the box. So it can't be 7, 8 or 9. So it's definitely 1, 2, 3 or 4. It's nice and low. And this one, it also sees 3 grey cells, but they're not all in the same box. So actually this could still get away with being a 7, I think. So I'm not going to pencil mark it. That's just too many possibilities, even for me. But I don't know what to find. This box, you know, there's just nothing going on. I've got no clues really what's happening here. There's a 4 confined in that area, but I think this box has to be where we finish the puzzle. We need to deduce something out of these areas soon. Definitely 6 in one of these. I mean, I think we've dealt, by having that as a 2, 3, 5 triple, we've basically dealt with the fortress requirements throughout the inside of the R. That's the only one with anything left to sort of resolve about it at all. That is frustrating. And yet it must be fortress that gets us going. It must be, because unless I'm really missing something badly, classic Sudoku is just not going to be enough here. Now, we know one of those is a 2. If that was a 2, that would be a 3, and that wouldn't be a 3. If that was a 3 or a 4, that wouldn't be a 3 either. So that's not a 3. And all that tells me is that 1 and 3 are definitely in these cells. At least that takes 3 out of this one, but it's not a big advance. This has to be low. Oh, you know which cell I should be looking at, and I just don't at the moment. One of these is a 5. That can hardly help. Okay, this is 2, 5, 6, or 9. I mean, I think all I'm reaching here is a conclusion that I had right at the start, that one of these two is a 1. Yeah, that doesn't get me out of the mire. The mire that I'm currently wallowing in. See, that probably is a 6, but why does that have to be a 6? And that's probably a 6, but the alternative is that this is a 6, then these would be 7s. It'd be kind of flanked by 8, 9s everywhere. Okay, so if this was, maybe I can colour the 8, 9s. I mean, I didn't expect to have to do this sort of thing at all, but let's give it a try and see what we get if we go yellow and red on the 8, 9s. I don't think this is going to do anything. Don't see how I can colour those or that one based on the ones I've got going here. There must be a yellow somewhere here. No, I don't think the colouring's worth doing. Not that colouring anyway. There might be some colouring that is. 7, 6, 2, 4, 1, 3, 5, 8, 9. So 4 is definitely in one of those 2 cells in this box by Sudoku. So then it's definitely in one of these 2. It's all about this 1, isn't it? Can I rule 1 out of there? Does 1 have to be? If one of those had to be a 2, this couldn't be a 1 because 1 would be in that. Oh, maybe 3 and 4 have gone, and we could put 1 and 2 here, but one of these will always be, well, this would be 5, 6, 7, 9 then. I don't know. No, I don't think this is okay. This is bigger than 6 or 7. I've not pencil marked that before. Ah, there we go. 7, 8, 9 triple. So that is a 3. I was hoping it was going to be not a 3 earlier, but actually it's probably better that it is. So we get a 2 there. That's now a 3, 5 pair. There's no 3 in that set. It's a 1, 2, 4 set. That's not a 3. Is this actually going to do anything? 7, 8, 9 triple, 3, 2. 1, 4, 5, and 6, the remaining digits in the row. And I mean, I don't know. Maybe if that's all it does, it may not actually be worth all the match. Okay, I've got a 7, 8, 9 triple in box in row 2. 6 and 5 are there. That becomes a 2. Wow, that's huge. Okay, that gives me a 1 there. Now this can't be a 1. The 1 in the column is here. That's not a 2. This isn't a 2 either. Right, this is where 1 goes in box 8. Probably, well, I've nearly got all the 1s done. Just an X-wing in boxes 2 and 3 to do. If that's a 9, this is a 7, 8 pair. Don't think that teaches me much. Right, come on, surely we're cracking along now, although I don't feel that at all. In fact, just reached 20 minutes, I know I did restart the puzzle, so that time's right. And that shows that I'm probably right not to have attempted this during the competition. 2 is looking at that cell, so 4, 3. See, and then your brain gets a bit fried by doing this stuff. That's a 1 because there's a 4, 5 pair. In fact, that's all the 1s done. Now, I'm tempted to start colouring 4s and 5s, but hopefully colouring is not necessary anymore. There's got to be a 3 in one of those 2 cells. That's hardly interesting. I imagine that what I've done lately has really opened something up, but I can't see it immediately. There's a 5 in one of those. 5. Oh, look, that's a 5, 6, 9 triple, so that's a 7. And we need 9 in one of those 2 cells. 6, 8, 9. This is fixing a lot of the 6, 7, 8, 9 quads and things. 9 there, 8 there. Right, this can't be 7. This can't be 8. So that's a 6, 9 pair now. And that's very helpful. 8, 7, 9. This is now 8. That's 7. We might actually start to think about finishing off soon. That has become an 8. 9 there. Still haven't done that 4, 5 triple. This we must know. That's a 7. This is now an 8. Hasn't sorted out these 2. 2, 7, 1, 8. 6? No, I don't know. It's in one of those. Don't think the rule is doing anything here. Actually the rule is doing something here. It's telling me where 9 is in this box. Yes, that's a 9. So one of these 3's a 9, and that's not very interesting. 2 and 1 have been resolved by the 1 we got. We need a 2 in one of those. 2, 1, 7, 8, 6, 3. Yeah, I think I've used the fortress rule as much as is possible. Even that can't possibly disobey it now. So the rest is classic Sudoku and not that straightforward. 7. That's probably the last 7 in the grid. 1, 7, 8. 6. No, I'm not sure. 9s. There's a 9 in one of those 2. So the 9 in the bottom row has to be here. Wow, that's weird, right? So that's 3 or 5, which gives me a pair in this row, which makes this a 6. That might be the final bit of untanglement needed. 5 there, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm finishing columns 4, 5, 6 now, I think. 3, 5, yes. 2 and 4, even this 5, 3 pair, so just the first 3 columns to go. He says just in the tone of one who sees a mirage on the horizon and staggers blindly towards it. 5, 2, 3. So if I haven't made a mistake, that is the solution. And what a brilliant puzzle. It's so tough. And I'm very satisfied that if that took me 23 minutes, well, maybe that is about the pace I was on compared to the points for the whole issue. Let me just check my maths. That 121 points out of 600, that is a fifth, isn't it? So that should be a fifth of 90 minutes. Yeah, it should take 18 minutes. And I've taken nearly 24. It's very close to my average for the points ratio. So I think that was graded very fairly by the constructors. So that's from, as I say, the World Puzzle Federation Sudoku Grand Prix, and an excellent set of puzzles it was. That being the hardest amongst them. Do give them a try. But I hope to see you again soon on the channel. Bye for now.